Welcome back, everybody, to Play Like a Jet. I'm Luke Grant, and today I wanted to jump into the 5 top position group battles for the New York Jets ahead of training camp. Rookies checked in yesterday. We're getting really close to seeing these guys in pads for real, the first look for a lot of these rookies. So let's evaluate who's fighting for playing time and to be a starter for the 2021 New York Jets. Number one, I wanted to start with what I think may be the most important, and that's the outside corner spot opposite of Bryce Hall. I have a lot of confidence in Hall and his ability to play in this Robert Saleh scheme. We're going to see a lot of too high, cover two looks, some quarters, and that cover three we've been familiar with Robert Saleh. And I think that's going to suit Bryce Hall to a T. A lot of eyes in the backfield, butt to the sideline, ability to play the ball and read the quarterback. But who starts opposite him? There's a few options for the Jets, but none of them fill you with the most confidence. I guess from the veteran guys, Bless Austin makes the most sense. He had a really good 2019 season, but then last year regressed under Greg Williams and really struggled at times. He's had issues with tackling and in man-to-man coverage as well. As far as the rookies that are fighting for this spot, you have Brandon Eccles, who was drafted out of Kentucky, slightly on the smaller size. I think he's 5'11". And then you've got also Pinnock, who was drafted out of Pitt. And I really think that Jason Pinnock might be the guy who's got the inside track now to start opposite Bryce Hall. He has the body and the length that Saleh seems to covet at the position. Obviously, he had Jason Verrett last year, but traditionally likes those longer outside corners. Pinnock really impressed in minicamp and OTAs. And if he puts together a strong training camp, I anticipate he's going to start and really have a young 1-2 corner group for the New York Jets on the outside. That's the first one. I wanted to transition to the number 2 training camp battle, and that was the right guard spot. This one is going to be pivotal in Zach Wilson's development and keeping him upright. The incumbent starter last year was Greg Van Roten, and he was okay. In pass protection, I'd say he was just below league average, but in the running game, he really struggled. The offensive line in general is a weak link position. I think we've come to terms that if there's one weak player on that line, that's where the defensive line is going to target it through stunts and also matchup nightmares. For the Jets, right guard seems that spot right now. Fighting Greg Van Roten for that will probably be Cameron Clark, who they drafted in 2020. He's a Joe Douglas guy, but didn't see the field last year, only suited up a couple of times. He had some impressive games on tape in college against Clemson, but will they trust him to play right guard? The other guy is Alex Lewis, who played on the left side of the line and had some issues with Adam Gase, was in the doghouse in the middle of last year, but he's really good in the run game and has some deficiencies in pass pro. I like his attitude and that mean streak, but can he put it together for a full season at right guard? If you made me guess right now, I'd say that Greg Van Roten will start there and will play next to Morgan Moses on the right side of the line. Number 3 in the position group battles for the Jets ahead of training camp. Let's jump back to the corner group. The slot nickel corner is a starter in today's NFL. With the amount of 5 and 6 DB packages that teams are playing, it's crucial that you have a good nickel. The Jets decided to let Brian Poole go, and in doing so, I guess Javelin Guidry is the natural guy to take over and be the favorite to start at the slot position. He actually played pretty well in his 140-odd coverage snaps last year, and I think there's an opportunity for him to start here. But the guy who I really want to see the Jets start is Michael Carter II. Coming into the draft, I'll be honest, I hadn't watched a lot of Michael Carter, but the more I became familiar with his tape out of Duke and the versatility of his game, the more I loved him. Whether he's in the nickel playing man-to-man coverage or he's in cover 2 with his eyes in the backfield, breaking on balls, really good wrapping up tackles. I like his ability as a safety to play that kind of hybrid role in big nickel looks. He can blitz from the nickel spot. I really like Michael Carter's game, and I think if he starts at the slot corner position, he's going to be successful really early on. He's got big shoes to fill, replacing Brian Poole, but he's my favorite to start there at the nickel spot for the Jets. 2 spots remaining, and at number 4, we're going to talk about the running back room. Now, this is an interesting one because I don't think there's going to be a decisive winner and starter for the Jets. It's going to be a running back by committee. That's what we saw from the LaFleur offense or the Shanahan offense in San Francisco. And I kind of predict we're going to have something similar here in New York. There's plenty of guys. Tevin Coleman has played in this system. He's a one-cut guy, has some ability to catch the ball and do some things after the catch. You have some guys who are better between the tackles, like Josh Adams, who flashed last year, was quite good at running in those third and short, did a little bit on outside zone looks. You've also got LaMichael Pirine out of Florida, who was underwhelming last year in his rookie season. But the two guys who I anticipate will be the 1A and the 1B are, first of all, Ty Johnson. I think he's going to get the second most carries for the Jets this year. If you look back at when the Jets started running left very late in the season, which is saying something about Adam Gase's mentality, not running behind Mekhi Becton, it was the Las Vegas Raiders game where you saw Ty Johnson start to take over. His speed, acceleration, and explosiveness outside the tackles on those outside zones and wide zone runs that we're going to see a lot of this year. He had 100 yards plus in that game. It was really impressive. That was the start of his trajectory going upwards. And I think we're going to see more of that as the speed back in this Jets system. But the guy I anticipate will be the running back 1, and I don't think this is a surprise to anybody, is Michael Carter. At UNC, Michael Carter was great. And you could tell the Jets were really excited to draft him. And what he did so well in college was something that the Jets have been lacking for the last 5-10 years, explosive plays. If you look at 15+ yard runs in the whole of college football last year, Michael Carter was first. If you look at yards per carry, Michael Carter, number 1. He needs to bring that element to the Jets. It's a great scheme fit, and I think he's going to be fantastic and will earn his position in training camp as running back 1A with Ty Johnson. The last position I wanted to jump into is the will linebacker spot. And even though in a nickel league, this probably only plays 40 to 50% of snaps, still going to be important, especially in Robert Saleh's scheme. We know that Saleh loves linebackers who are quick, can play sideline to sideline, have range. And in the draft process, you heard him talk about running and hitting. And there's a few guys on this Jets team that I think can do that. But again, like the corner spot, a lot of them are really young. The first guy is Hamza Nasruddin, and he was really impressive in 2019 for Florida State. Had great tape against Clemson. You see him as a former safety have that range, the athleticism, the length, has a perfect fit for this Saleh scheme and what he wants his weak linebacker to do. But he injured his knee and he only saw the field twice last year. And the question is going to be in training camp, does he have that explosiveness? Is he the same caliber of athlete? Outside of that, well, Jamie and Sherwood was drafted ahead of him. And it was interesting because those two guys are competing for the same role. And the Jets slightly favored Sherwood. Now, he's a less dynamic athlete, but he's a really solid tackler. His tackle percentage numbers were excellent at Auburn. He may not be as dynamic, but he's solid enough in pass coverage and is really good with his run fits. Has nice sideline to sideline speed as well. He's an option to start. The last one is Blake Cashman, kind of the forgotten man of this Jets linebacking group. Cashman just hasn't stayed healthy. He's had shoulder and ankle injuries that have hampered his career, where he showed flashes, and he definitely has the athleticism to play in the NFL. But can he put it together? I have no idea, to be honest with you, where that will linebacker spot is going to land. I'm excited. I hope it's one of these young 3 guys because Cashman himself is only 25 or 26. So I can't wait to see who comes out ahead in that training camp battle. So that does it, guys, talking about our training camp positional battles. Who's going to come out on top in those spots? Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you're following all of our content at Play Like a Jet on YouTube, the podcast with Scott Mason, and at playlikeajet.com.